Fjallraven isn't here to conquer mountains, tame rivers, or beat the weather. We're here to go slowly, to tread carefully, and to cherish the visit. For us, the outdoor experience has never been a race to victory. It's an ongoing journey to create equipment and memories that last for generations to come. Our mission is to inspire more people to move with nature. We do this by developing durable and functional equipment that never goes out of fashion. What we really want is to make it easier for people to enjoy spending time in nature on nature's terms. This is our passion. So let's use our vast experience and competence to help more people feel at home in nature, because when they do, they will take greater care of it. So get started on your Fjallraven journey by heading to fjallraven.com today.
You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm outdoor educator and writer Shawnté, and I'm here to answer your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. And I want them all because, remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. Here's how it works. You're going to send questions in to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'm going to answer a couple each week here on the show. And as always, the man you've been waiting for, joining me today, my partner in gear, that's PIG, in case you were wondering, the producer of Gear Abby, and a man who was born with a voice like a game show host, Colin True.
Well, thank you. Glad happy to be here.
Do you have any, I feel like I want to win something now. Can I spin a wheel or something?
Win Gear Abby's money.
No.
Win Gear Abby's gear.
No. Actually, you're not allowed to. No game show. Maybe we should do a giveaway. If brands that are listening, we should do some sort of fun, year end or beginning of the year giveaway.
What about, Garage Grown Gear or Gossamer Gear? Some of our sponsor pals.
Yeah. Fjallraven, what are you doing? Let's get on
that. Yeah. This is our 13th episode, which makes me wonder, is the Friday the 13th movie series the most outdoor mainstream movie series of all time? Takes place at a summer camp.
It's at a summer camp, yeah.
Right? There's canoes.
It's Camp Crystal Lake, right?
Camp Crystal Lake, right?
I mean,
campfires.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very 80s. I feel like that it's like Meatballs, but with blood.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right. It may be the most outdoorsy. We might have to add it to the rotation of our pop culture moment. I mean, Vertical Limit reigns supreme. But what? Actually, speaking of movies, I know you and I texted about it the other day.
Yeah.
We need just for a second here before we jump in, need to talk about the fact that they are making a thriller about ultra running called Ultra.
Yeah.
And the premise, for anybody who has not heard about this yet, is that a runner played by Shailene Woodley, who also, by the way, was in Adrift, based on Tammy Ashcraft's amazing book about being adrift in the ocean when her partner went overboard. Anyway, Shailene is being chased by somebody while running the Badwater Marathon. First of all, can I just say, nobody is running that fast for 135
It's a very slow chase. It's a very Jason Voorhees chase, actually, or Michael Myers chase.
Slow-mo running through the sand, kind of maybe tripping every once in a while and just laying there and being very thirsty.
I probably the same reaction as you. I thought, this is not going to be good. But then if you read about it, apparently either the writer or the director, or maybe it's the same person, apparently is an ultra runner.
I know. I'm all right.
So I'm willing to give it benefit of the doubt that they'll get some of the... It's really how they handle the exposition to the audience who don't know what ultra running is.
Right.
And if it's completely just so cringy to ultra runners, then it's you lost. I think you need to make it so how do you get the message across about what they're doing while still making it feel natural to the ultra runners watching it? That's the sweet spot where they need to live.
Or they can just go full Vertical Limit, and maybe the person chasing her has got some nitroglycerin packs in their little running vest, and it's a race against time. I mean, if you guys are still in production and working on the storyline, just give us a call, deargearabby@gmail.com. We got some thoughts.
I think that we need to get the Outdoor Industry Association, the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable, the National Park Service. All these people need to be focused more on how to get more nitroglycerin into the outdoors.
Yeah,
I think
screw the public lands. We got other
Right.
things to focus about now.
Yeah,
We've already
just
given
blow
up on
shit up.
those. Let's blow shit up. I love it. I feel alive right now. I'm ready. Just thinking about ultra running and being chased and nitroglycerin has got me really pumped for today's episode. So let's kick off with, you got something fun to start with, perhaps?
I do. And I've only read the first sentence of this email because I was so excited about it. I didn't want to, waste the opportunity to just read it live because the first sentence is my favorite question so far.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Dear Abby, my brother is an asshole who thinks permits are stupid. So right there, I paused. I'm like, I gotta wait to read the rest of this.
Oh, like delayed gratification. You're
This is amazing.
You got to savor each line of this email.
This emailer goes on. His favorite line is, "If public lands belong to the people, why do I have to pay to use them? He's poached a lot of trails and it drives me nuts. Can you help me explain to his dumbass why my permits are helpful and why he should stop being a dick about it? Signed, Mom Likes Me Better." This is a 10 out of 10 no notes chef's kiss email. Thank you, Mom Likes Me Better. Here we have asshole, dick, dumbass. I mean, God, it's just, I'm playing all the hits.
It's that is, I will say, when this email came in, I was like, Colin is gonna love seeing this. Like,
Oh, so good.
I was very happy to send that.
I don't even care if you answer the question. I'm just happy to have the
We're
chance
just gonna
to read it.
just gonna read the question over and over for like 7 minutes until the next topic. Oh man. Well, I have to say, usually it is you who helps us earn our E for explicit rating, but today we're gonna give that crown to you better. But hey, I am here for a little bit of sibling rivalry, and I want you to win this one. So hopefully this is gonna help. All right. Why are permits helpful? Let me count the ways. So first, they help balance human impact, not just on the landscape, but also on wildlife and other humans. In wilderness areas in particular, there is actually a specific mandate in the Wilderness Act of 1964 to provide for, and I quote, outstanding opportunities for solitude. Like, I like the use of outstanding. They're like, listen, some people really need to get alone out there. Let's really pump it up for them. Just incredible, magnificent opportunities for solitude.
I mean, really, was this like a last minute thing they're writing? Like, I don't know, man. Like, outstanding opportunities. That sounds good.
Put it in there. And the great thing is they don't really elaborate on what that means. So it's completely up to interpretation. Right. So if that means like dancing around in an alpine environment by yourself in a tutu, have at it. That is what the Wilderness Act wants for you. While you cannot have all of the space to yourself, you also shouldn't have to elbow through a Taylor Swift's concert worth of people. Just to see an elk or, watch a sunset or whatever.
Taylor Swift, is she a popular individual? Is that what you're saying there?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any chance I can get to anger the Swifties, I'm here for as well. Everybody know that.
I didn't co-sign that. I just want y'all to know. All right. So better. Permits also help track who might be out in the backcountry, which comes in handy in case of emergencies, wildfires, flash flooding. I think it's always a good idea to leave an itinerary with somebody at home. But if a flash flood is imminent on like day 2 of your 5-day trip, you are much more likely to get help from a local ranger who knows that you're in a specific slot canyon rather than your friend 2 states over who is not paying attention to anything other than their Instagram feed. So permits can be helpful for that.
Wait a second. Is Mom Likes Me Better? Is her brother Aaron Ralston?
Is it Aaron Ralston?
Well, he didn't have much regard for permits, clearly. What happened to him?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that could be. We also don't know the gender of this person. So it could be like 2 brothers who are just having at it. I have no idea. Like that's the exciting thing sometimes, Colin, is what we don't know.
You're right. I didn't. I imposed a gender probably through the use of expletives. That was
You're like, that's
too
a
much
very
gender
angry
bias
sister.
on my part. Right. This is totally a dude.
You're like, do you know are you a brother? Do you know what it's like? Is that why?
Yes.
Game recognized game. And better, there is also the big matter of the majority of permit fees, minus the administrative fees withheld by services like rec.gov, screw you, Booz Allen Hamilton, go right back into those very same places that you enjoy recreating. And I mean those very same places, because for national parks and forests and BLM areas, something called, we're doing a lot of acts today, the Federal Lands Recreation Enhancement Act, otherwise known as FLREA. That's the acronym.
God, I hope that's a thing.
FLREA. It ensures that at least 80% of that money from permits and fees goes right back into that specific site, funding things like rangers, trail signs, search and rescue services, maintenance, repair, construction, habitat restoration, and waste management. So the permit system itself also generates data that influences future funding and staffing by showing trends of demand and use. And so those permits are actually really useful for allocating money to these places that you want to be in. Something to think about, right? And so I'd say beyond all of that better, which by the way, I think all of that is enough reason, remind your brother that with our rights, such as the presumed right to have access to these places, comes responsibility. That's right. It's a twofer. Caring for the places we love means supporting them. So that could be by permit fees, by volunteering, by showing other, kids how to be good stewards and raising up the next gen, funding for public lands, and pushing for laws that improve all of this. They improve environmental protections, improve that funding, improve access to the outdoors. So yeah, I get it. Getting a permit might seem like a pain in the ass, but it would be a lot more painful to lose access to these places altogether because we stopped investing in them. All right, so don't be a dick.
This is the underlying problem with the human-powered outdoors world. Like, what's the name of the? You may have even just said it if you may be referring to something else. But what's the name of the hunt and fish tax revenue? They're everything you buy, like you buy bullets, like there's a portion of that goes towards towards the conservation movement, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, there you go. Like this is a little bit of everything that hunters and fisher people do is going to go back to protecting the places where they get to do those activities. We are so selfish on the human powered side. Yep. We expect there to be trails. We expect to be able to use any of the trails we want to use based on the thing that we want to do. Yep. And we expect to pay $0 in order to do it. And it's just bullshit. It's like, come on, man. Like, I mean, I would love to have a tax put on any outdoor product. Like, you want to buy a backpack? Great. Like 0.2% or 1% or whatever goes towards protecting these places. And then we could just like be on par with some of these other categories. So come on, your brother's wrong. Rub this podcast in their face and, bring it up. If he keeps to bring it up, know that you're right.
That's right. I like the idea of rubbing a podcast in someone's face. You gotta do it. It's very metaphysical.
It's just a phone. And just like rub, like, look at this.
I like that one. That was a good one. I think that image of you, because I do get to watch you on the Zoom screen every time we do this, the image of you reading that will be forever imprinted in my mind.
It was so wonderful.
Well, I don't want to break that beautiful high that you're experiencing, but we need to keep moving. So let's have another question.
Well, the good news for me is that we're not breaking anything because this next one's maybe as contentious as the first one. So
awesome.
We're coming out hot here on Gear Abby this episode,
spicy.
Guys. All right, here's the email. Dear Gear Abby, let's be honest. Ground cloths under your tent are bullshit. Wow. Any tent worth its ridiculous price doesn't need a barrier between it and the dirt under it, making a ground cloth or a tarp or a footprint or whatever you want to call it a needless piece of gear that depletes your bank account while adding weight to your backpack. Am I wrong? No, I am not. But I'd still like to hear what you think. I love that. It's like, fuck you, I'm not wrong. But what do you think about that? Do you want to validate my opinion for me, please? Please validate my opinion for me. Anyway, signed, Pup Tent Pat.
Wow, a lot of people are really worked up in this week's question.
This is my favorite episode so far.
Listen, this is full on fish shaking at the clouds. So this is your lane, Colin. I want you to really marinate in it.
Get out of here, clouds.
Get out of here, ground cloths, you stupid footprints. All right, Pat, this just take a moment, take some deep breathing. There is no right or wrong here. There is only Zool. Just kidding. That's a Ghostbusters reference. But let me tell you, There is a right or wrong. I used to be firmly in your pup tent camp. Footprints, feet prints, whatever. They felt expensive, unnecessary. I get it. All I needed to do, though, was just pay attention, to where I set my tent down and avoid stuff like sap and rocks and sticks, and I should be good, right? Right?
Right.
Well, right? You would think. Well, let's just say, and I am very careful with my tents, after a handful of very frustrating incursions involving various tent floors, I have learned the true value of a footprint / ground cloth. And I am going to try to convince you to come over to the dark side with me and be less of a crab ass. So first of all, for anyone who is not familiar, like my dear friend Mo, who listens every single week, even though she is deeply not outdoorsy, and she is delighted to learn things every week. She was really into the bidet episode. Shout out to Mo. So anybody can listen to this podcast.
I wasn't sure if Mo was getting a shout out or if she was taking some strays. So
no. I shout out to Mo because I love that I think this is testament to creating something that's entertaining even for people who are like, ooh, gross.
Mo, you're the target audience.
That's right. Mo actually runs, she does a podcast called Music and Booze with Mo. So if you are into either of those things, give it a listen. But yeah, we should, maybe one day I can have Mo on this podcast. We'll have to cross streams. I don't know.
Well, she sounds like she knows about music and booze, so we could, what's got to be a around the campfire question in that if we get one of those. So
yeah, she did once go hiking with me in Muir Woods in a pair of high-heeled boots. So I feel like, well, maybe
that's a place where you can kind of get away with
that.
that if you just stick to the main sort of loop there,
It's true. But yeah, all right. So basically, for anyone like Mo who's not familiar with these things, a tent footprint is just an extra piece of material that gets laid down on the ground before you stake your tent.
AKA redundancy. Keep going.
Oh, okay. All right, Pat. If the tent doesn't come with it, you can often just buy one separately from the manufacturer. And the advantage these ones have over ground cloths, and ground cloths could be things like tarps, plastic sheeting, or a piece of Tyvek, which is that stuff that is indestructible post office mailers are made out of. The advantage of a manufacturer one is that these are designed to fit perfectly under specific tents, and they include grommets or some other sort of attachment point that makes sure it connects to the tent and doesn't slip around. So, Pat, why should you consider joining me in making a little layer cake with your tent? Well, the biggest reason is that you're going to prolong the life of it by preventing cuts and holes and abrasions and stuff like sap getting stuck in there. Tent floors, at least in backpacking tents, are generally made out of sil nylon or Dyneema, and neither of them is particularly puncture resistant. So popping something underneath, just sliding something under there serves as a first line of defense, and it's honestly going to prolong the magic. Why, Colin, you look like you want to say something.
I have a counterpoint. That means that new tent day comes way less frequently. Just want to say, all right?
So you're like, oh, damn, I can't. You want to just be constantly. I know you, Colin. I know you don't like to just buy gear for gear's sake.
But if you poke a hole in your tent, you got to be like, the first thought is like, shit, this is going to suck for however long I'm out here. The second thought is, oh, I get to buy a new tent.
Tents are expensive, man. So
I know.
No, but as someone who owns like 4 or 5 tents, but they're all different. In my defense, I have like the big 4-person tent.
Sure.
I do have 3 different backpacking tents, but they're for different seasons and different uses. In my defense, anyway, the other main reason I use a ground cloth, Colin and Pat. And I usually use Tyvek or a lightweight sheet of polycro, which is just a lightweight plastic. It's very thin and surprisingly durable. I get it from 6 Moon Designs. I actually bought it from Garage Grown Gear.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. But yeah, the other main reason I use those is to just keep the tent floor clean and dry very specifically, dry from condensation, which occurs because there's a temperature differential between your hot little body when it's sleeping and the colder ground underneath you. And so that, also dew, frost, of course, rain, any of that. And a dry tent floor means a lighter and cleaner tent and pack, because you're going to be putting this thing back in your pack at some point. And I think it's especially helpful with sil nylon tents because they take forever to dry. They are very heavy in your pack when they're wet, so I like to reduce the amount of water I'm getting on there. I also honestly like the versatility that comes with a footprint. Sometimes I'll pull it out if I want to like lay down at lunch or take a break. I've used them as sunshades before in the desert. They're really great if you decide to cowboy camp one night. I've done that quite a bit. We talked about that back in episode 2, our infancy. It's a great way to test possible tent position and flatness before you set it up. And so you don't have to move it around, which is especially hard if you're just using a trekking pole tent and not a freestanding. And if you have a tent where a fly first pitch, which is a hard thing to say, if that's possible, like a Big Agnes Fly Creek, you have amazing options for a quick setup in bad weather that keeps your tent body dry. And this saved my ass on the PCT many times when I was using my Fly Creek. I could just pop it up really quick and you put the fly over the footprint and it's so much quicker than setting up a whole tent. So, okay. Also, Pat, you don't need to deplete your bank account to use a ground cloth. I think that's a misunderstanding. So yes, the ones made by manufacturers for specific tents are a little pricier, but that's why I use Tyvek or I use Polycro. I know a lot of industrious hikers who've actually just rolled up to construction sites and just been like, hey, do you guys have any extra Tyvek? And that's how they got their Tyvek. So that's cost $0, just a little bit of guts. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, for me, carrying a little bit of extra material to protect my, as you said, ridiculously priced tent is absolutely worth it. And, but hey, you do you. And don't send me a sad email when you rip your expensive tent floor on some random sharp object one night, okay? Man, what a day today. We had 2 very confrontational emails, which I know
it was wonderful.
Kind of delighted you. More than kind of delighted you. You're just like, you're glowing right now, Colin.
I love the positivity of the outdoors, but sometimes, it's a little too nicey nice. Let's get serious. Opinions exist, people. All right.
They do. Yeah. Oh man. Well, maybe we could slide into something. I don't know. We're sliding onto the ground cloth. We're sliding into something a little more gentle. What do you have?
Well, you didn't neglect that. If you have a ground cloth, you can create a slip and slide in the backcountry, a very short one.
Perfect. We'll slip and slide right into the next question.
Okay. All right, here we go. Dear Gear Abby, I just started listening to the show and I love it. Okay, this is good positivity. I'm into this positivity. This. You guys crack me up. I love that part right there, too. We're going to break this down like one line at a time because so far this is a great
really
email.
good emails today. I like to be validated.
You guys crack me up, and I feel like I learned something new every episode. My question to you is, you talked about taking watercolors on a rafting trip in one of the episodes, and I wonder if you have any tips for how to create a portable watercolor kit that I can take on bikepacking trips. Sorry, I was going to say backpacking. This emailer says bikepacking trips. Ooh. Also, any pointers on trying to let go of perfectionism when I'm trying to paint outside? I'm new to it, and I'm not very good, but I still love trying. Thanks. Signed, Gabby. Sorry, I couldn't think of something creative. Well, I mean, you have the Gabby Abby thing right there,
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Combine Gear Abby and it's Gabby.
You have a great name, Gabby. Yeah. Big fan. That's okay. Save your creative energy for painting. So Gabby, I thought about answering your question myself and telling you about my crappy plein-air painting setup and telling you how I'm still not the best at being kind to myself when it comes to my own painting. But then I thought of a much better person to answer your question, and that is my friend Latasha Dunstan, who is an incredible painter, illustrator, and mural artist who's actually helped me grow in my own outdoor watercolor pursuits. Her artwork has appeared on the side of hotels, wine bottles, socks, coolie cloths, and barrel clothing, and in Diana Helmuth's book, How to Suffer Outside, and 1,000 other places. She's super legit, and I'm so excited to have her on the podcast. Welcome, Tasha.
Hi. Also, since I've known you, I've gotten married, so my last name is Greene now.
Oh my gosh, that's right. Sorry.
It's okay.
Latasha Greene, that's true. I apologize. She goes by Jitterbug Art online, so that's how you could find her as well. But Tasha, let's dig in with the first part of Gabby's question, which is, what are the key elements of a good portable watercolor setup? I know you've done a lot of plein air painting.
Yeah, it is my favorite way to be outside because I can sit still and relax. Okay. So I always joke with people that plein air painting is going to be the most accessible and affordable outdoor sport you will partake in. And so when it comes to what it is that you need, it is very basic. And there are companies that create kits for this type of thing, but you can also just be scrappy and use what you have and bring all the pieces together, which is what I did for a really long time. So you'll need watercolor paper, a brush, and water. I prefer to use a water brush pen, which is a combination like water vessel paintbrush combo. So you don't need to have like a little cup. And it also will prevent you from throwing your paint water into nature, which you don't want to do. Um, you need a palette with paint, be it squeezy paint that you squeezed into the little pockets yourself, or maybe the palette came preloaded with paint. Um, Preferably a palette with a lid on it. But again, we're not going to be particular because you can just wipe the dirt off later. Trust me, I get so much dirt in my palettes, like it is a mess. And then I like to use just my clothing to clean my brush off. Just again, low waste. When we're outdoors, we don't want to be packing a lot of trash with us. But if you don't want to do that, bring a napkin or a paper towel or a washcloth or piece of fabric or something like that that you can clean your brush off on. And then your imagination, I guess, or pencil if you want to draw it first, but that's not mandatory. You can just straight up start painting. I do that all the time.
I do. You know what? I do bring a pencil, a little mechanical pencil with me because I like to sketch the outlines of things and then do my very bad job painting them afterwards. What was you? So when you just to like expand on this a little bit, you mentioned that your setup now is probably pretty different than when you first started. Like when you did first start getting out there doing the plein air stuff, what was your setup? Because I feel like this is something we'll all relate to because I think it can be intimidating looking online and being like, oh, these little paint kits are kind of expensive sometimes. And, do I need all that if I don't even feel comfortable doing this yet? Like, what did you use when you first started?
So I am a little bit of an anomaly because I did go to art school, so I have an abundance of art materials and put that out there. And so I already had watercolor paint tubes from school, and I started plein air painting when I moved to Denver, even though I kind of learned about it when I lived in Richmond, but then I didn't really go out and do it until I had moved to Denver. And what I had was, funny enough, it was a watch palette.
A watch palette? What does that even mean?
Yeah, it was like a little, I wish I had it close to me. It's like a little circle, almost like pill case.
Oh.
That had a little lid on it, or almost like a very large pocket watch is kind of what it like the vessel, and it had these like 4 sections, and then I had glued that onto a piece of Velcro, and then I put it on my wrist.
Oh, I love that.
And, that's what I used for a few years until I was like, you know what, I want more colors because I was in this limited palette phase back then. I was like, I want more colors, so I went to my local art store and got like I would say 5-inch by 2-inch palette that had paint in it already and it had a lid on it. And that's what I used. And I just used my regular sketchbook. I would just pull out a big old chunky sketchbook and I would use a regular brush and a jar with a lid on it at first, like a little like capers jar, little olive jar, reusable moments.
Very bougie.
Yes,
capers.
we love our locks in this house. But yeah, that was my setup, and I would just pop it in a like dust bag, and then pop that into my backpack. If I needed a waterproof moment, a Ziploc was the solution.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I used to use the jar, like a little jam jar for my water because I was like, I got to carry it home. Just like you were saying, I can't just be whooping this all over nature. Yeah. And I think I still use actually for my, I bring little sheets of watercolor paper, but then I put it on a piece of cardboard that I put a rubber band around. And that's like my little easel.
I've never thought of the rubber band trick. I'm always using tape, which is just and if you're listening and what you don't know about watercolor is that it's a reusable medium. Unlike oil paint or acrylic or gouache, those paints, once they dry, you cannot reactivate them. They are plastic, you throw it away, it's done. Whereas with watercolor, it is reusable. Like, so even the palette, not just the well that has the little colors, but your palette, the little flat part that you're mixing your colors on and making a mess on, when that dries, that's all reusable color. So you just continue to use that and continue to add to it, which is the beauty of watercolor. And say you get a bunch of dirt that blew into your palette, because that happens when you plein air paint. You're out with the elements. You are at the will, beck and will. It's going to rain, it's going to hail, it's going to do what it's going to do. Essentially, you just let it dry. And then literally the grains of dirt or sand just dry right to the top of the palette. And then you brush it off.
Oh.
It's kind of awesome.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's get to the second part of Gabby's question. And this one spoke to me a lot because it's something I actually struggle with. And it's that how to let go of perfectionism in your art practice, especially when you're learning a new medium like this. I mean, to me, watercolor has so much potential, but I feel like I just have not mastered any angle of it yet. But I still love it. Sounds like Gabby's in that same place. Like, how can we work on being maybe more present and not so worried about like making something perfect?
I like to disarm my students, because I teach a plein air painting class. So I like to disarm my students by asking, has anyone ever gone to an art museum before? Normally everyone raises their hand. And then I go, have you ever been in this art museum and have you seen a piece and you're like, I feel like I could do that, or my niece could do that, or my baby can do that. Like, what the heck? And you just like kind of question, like, how did this get into a museum? That right there shows you the validity of just this spectrum of art, right? There is no one right or wrong way to express yourself via art. And that shows when you walk through museums and you see the wide range of just like these big photorealistic things to like one big blue canvas.
Fair, yeah. The
you know what I
Rothkos.
mean? Like literally it'll be like a white canvas with a red dot in the middle.
Yep.
Period. Like
Fine art.
fine arts, contemporary. Like it is a spectrum. So I would suggest anyone who approaches creativity through a lens of perfectionism to shake it off, because let's also be realistic. Do you know anyone who has tried something and is literally perfect at it the first time?
No.
Literally,
no,
that's
certainly not me.
Like, let's be so for real right now. Like, that is something that helps me get rid of my perfectionism throughout my creative practice, because no one is perfect. Art is a spectrum. My 60% effort in an art piece is someone else's 100%, right? Like it is that spectrum where we don't really need to reach for anything. We just need to be ourselves, find our own creative voice. So I would tell her to just keep painting. Also, ain't nobody looking at it but you. Relax. Relax.
Calm your buns, Gabby.
Yeah, like it's gonna be okay. It has to look ugly in order to look. Here's my challenge to you. Fill the sketchbook and then look at the first page versus the last page. And then you can be critical of yourself.
Oh, I like that. Man, Tasha, I just want to do a whole podcast with you. Tasha Talks Creativity. Oh, I love it. I could ask you about 1,000 more questions, but I think here's the challenge to the listeners. Please send in more questions about creativity so I can have Tasha back on again.
Yeah.
Man.
I love art. I've been an artist my whole life. So
you have, and you're amazing. I love watching. I have a piece of your art in my home. I actually think I have a few things in my house. I have a Kula cloth with your artwork on it. I think of you every time I go to the bathroom. But yeah, thanks so much, Tasha. Everybody listening, please go find Latasha online. She is amazing. You can find her at jitterbugart.com and jitterbug_art on Instagram. Pick up Diana Helmuth's book. But yeah, Tasha is incredible. You're going to see so much more of her always and forever, I believe. So thanks, Tasha.
Aww, thank you.
While daydreaming about future backpacking trips, I had an epiphany. Maybe I could have an even better time out there if I just lightened my pack. That's when I decided to try out my very first trekking pole tent, Gossamer Gear's The One. And it was a match made in ultralight heaven. Weighing in at just 18 ounces, The One sets up in minutes using just trekking poles and a handful of stakes. And also, the one didn't just lighten my pack, it simplified my camp setup so that I had more time to enjoy the natural beauty all around me and allow me to spend more time with my favorite bidet. If you know, you know. Gossamer Gear designs products for people on the move. Rooted in a legacy of simplification, their philosophy is that taking less allows you to do more. And if you want to test this philosophy yourself, head over to gossamergear.com and use code GEARABBY at checkout to save $20 off your order of $100 or more. Well, hello, my outdoorsy friends. It's your favorite time of the week. Time to head to the official gear garage of Gear Abbey. That's Garage Grown Gear. Garage Grown Gear, aka GGG, is here to make sure all of you, that's all of Gear Abbey's outdoorsy friends, can get the newest outdoor stuff that they need for their next adventure. What kind of stuff, you ask? Well, today we're going to get a little eclectic with a mashup of new and kind of weird stuff available right now on GGG. First up, we've got electronics. We're going to keep our electronics charged with a Nightcore NB 10,000 plus power bank. I actually have one of these that I bought on GGG, and it is awesome. Second, you're going to preserve your carbide trekking pole tips with a set of Arctic Fox trekking paws by Preservation Dogs, which is for trekking poles, not for dogs. And lastly, if you love your shorts but still want dry legs, pick up a pair of minimalist rain pant legs by Three Full Gear. Little bit of rain pant chap action. Yeah, you can get in on that. Whatever you're looking for, Garage Grown Gear and Gear Abbey are the perfect outdoor combo. So get shopping by heading over to garagegrowngear.com right now. Oh man, I love having Tasha on. I love what she had to say too. It's especially after having like two salty questions. It's really nice to have someone come on and just be like really encouraging.
We needed a little palate cleanser, right? Remember, a little reminder of like why we go outside. Thank you, Tasha.
It's true. She's the best. All right. Well, we have time for one more question. Let's get into it.
Okay, last question for this episode. Dear Gear Abbey, my wife and I trekked the Haute Route? It's Haute. Is that like Terre Haute?
Terre Haute? Haute Couture? Haute Couture?
We'll say Haute.
Let's do it.
The Haute Route, or Haute Route, whatever. They hiked this route for our honeymoon and the Camino before we settled down and had babies. Are there any long-distance multi-day treks in the United States where you hike all day, but this is great, but end with dinner, shower, and a real bed each night? I'm with these people. Also, we live in Southern California, so bonus points for any that are on this side of the Rockies. Thank you, signed Jimmy and Katie.
I love that. This actually reminds me about last week's question about, I think it was last week, about being bougie, but like wanting to get more outdoorsy.
Yeah.
So see, listen, this podcast isn't just for dirt bags. I think we've established that.
Or Killian Jornet. It's not for him either, you know.
It is. I mean, he doesn't need to learn anything, but he can come on as much as he wants and tell us his insights into mountain mindset.
I bet you spent more consecutive nights on trail than Killian. That'd be my I would put my odds in your favor.
It's only because I'm slow. It's only because I walk at a human pace.
More legit, Killian. All right.
Listen, Killian, if you ever want to come back on, whether or not you want to talk about pooping in the Alps, it's an open invitation. But Jimmy,
pooping in the Alps pod.
Pooping in the Alps with Killian Jornet. Poor guy. He's probably like, why did I ever go on that podcast? Listen, Kimmy and JD is what I was just going to say. Kimmy and JD, your alter egos that are going to be hiking in the U.S. now. Jimmy and Katie, I hate to break it to you, but the Europeans do have centuries more experience being fancy in the out of doors. The downside over there is that you are hard-pressed to find anything approximating the, vast wilderness we have here in the States since they've developed much of their mountain landscapes. But there are some options here at home that might get you a little closer to belting out the sound of music while you're eating delicious cheeses. Not that you need an excuse to do that. You could do that anytime you want, just so you know. But let's start with close to home. You mentioned you live in Southern California, as do I, and Colin. So the most iconic option is going to be a place Colin still hasn't been to, in Yosemite National Park.
Not familiar.
That's right. He's never heard of it. But it's the High Sierra camps in the park, and they're located along a roughly, 50-mile loop. The camps are a bit rustic, so you stay in tent cabins instead of mountain huts. You're fed breakfast, you're fed dinner. They don't serve adult beverages, so you'd have to hike in your own if you want to reminisce about, drinking wine with mountain goats or whatever. There is one big catch, or actually two, and they're big. First, there's a lottery system, and you have to win that before you can even pay for a reservation.
And you also get $1 billion if you win, because it's the lottery.
It's not true. None of that is true.
Oh.
We're gonna have to start hiring a lawyer to vet everything you say, Colin. We don't have that kind of money yet. We need more sponsors.
I won the lottery. All I got is hut.
All I got is hantavirus hut. Yeah, so there's that. And then also, this is kind of a big one, the concessionaire. So they're not run by Yosemite National Park. They're not run by the federal government. They're run by a concessionaire. And that concessionaire charged with running the camps has dropped the ball since COVID. And they keep saying like this past year, they opened up reservations for 2025. And then they were like, just kidding. We got to fix the water. Like every year it's something. So it's hard to say if or when they'll actually open again. Technically, reservations are, I think, open right now on the website for 2026. So, shoot your shot. You could go for something a little different. Go further north in California. You could consider hiking the 41-mile Rogue River Trail, which has 5 different lodges and so much wine conveniently located along the way. It's sort of like a choose-your-own adventure style fancy pants hike, if that's your thing. And in that spirit, you could also just string together your own adventure, which I'm a huge fan of. I've done this quite a bit by walking any distance between, I'd say, sort of the Half Moon Bay area and up into Marin County, going through San Francisco. It isn't as straightforward as just following a trail like the Rogue River Trail would be. But the upside is that all those hills in San Francisco might remind you of the Alps. So, there's a plus. But there are some more traditional hut systems in the States, especially out here in the West. And these are typically, though, out West, they're typically self-service. So the big ones, actually in the Rockies, you mentioned staying west of the Rockies, but if you're willing to go in them, there are the 10th Mountain Division huts are super famous, and they have almost 40 backcountry huts, all with slightly different amenities. I think only 25 of them are open for summer. Most people actually love skiing into these huts, so it's much more popular. Yeah, huge. But you'll need to bring your own sleeping bag and provide your own food, but you get a hut, you get a vibe. These are really popular, so you do need to book them in advance via the amazingly named website, huts.org.
Simplicity. Gotta love it.
Yeah, just tell me what it is. Let me get there. And you also do need to figure out what route you want to take. So there are tons of options to connect any number of these huts, which I think trip planning is fun. Might not be your thing. There's guided trips that people do lead in the mountains. So if you want to leave the grunt work to somebody else, you can try a guided trip. There's also the much smaller American Prairie Hut system in Montana. There's the Alaska Huts Association, cabins and yurts up near Anchorage. And then there's the Ski or Snowshoe Inn Mount Tahoma Trails Association huts in Washington State. So those are all options. Again, all self-sufficient, so not quite the fancy pants that you may be looking for. So I'd say the closest thing you're going to get here in the States, you're going to have to go all the way to the East Coast to remember what it was like to roll up to some rustic location and, eat bread and some home-cooked meals with a bunch of strangers. So that's going to be the Appalachian Mountain Club huts. That's their high mountain huts along the Appalachian Trail. And this is going to be the closest you're going to get here. So you're going to have a place to stay. You're going to be staying there with a bunch of different people from probably around the world. And you're going to get fed breakfast and dinner. And you do have to cart in your own alcohol because we Americans are Puritans, after all. So come prepared with a flask at the very least.
Yeah, and the AMC one is the best one. I mean, and also none of these, like, they're back to the original question, like, you're looking for the hot shower, like, you're not getting that.
You're not getting that. Bring a solar shower.
I spent a lot of time in the White Mountains, and the White Mountain huts are spectacular. They're all staffed by what they affectionately call themselves the crew, which is CROO, and just wonderful people who are hauling up and down the very, very steep and direct trails of the White Mountains, large amounts of food and everything else. They're just, and then even if you're not staying over, if you're just day hiking, you can pop in and fill up your water and, get snacks. So, and that I would say that's probably the closest. So you're not getting the European thing is just so special. I remember doing like a quick trail run or a hike or something the first time I went over to Switzerland, and then realizing like you're passing this thing and like I can walk in here on the way down from my hike and get like Wiener Schnitzel or a sausage and a beer, and you're like, this is amazing. Like
this is the life.
Right. But then to your point, they don't have quite the same thing on the wilderness side. But we need to find somewhere a little in the middle. We need something in the middle. Where's the middle there?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Rogue River Trail could be a good option for y'all because it is it's an actual trail. It's 41 miles,
and
5 lodges to pick from. So
there
you're
going to
stay in a lodge every night with hot water. So it's, it's not going to be, the lodges aren't as rustic as in Europe, but I think they are still definitely like cabiny lodges. So I think that's probably what you want to try first, because I don't think those High Sierra camps are opening anytime soon. And I think 2 of them do have showers though. I think May Lake and I can't remember the other one, but 2 of the High Sierra camps have showers. The rest of them, you're just dirt bagging it. That's it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions about your relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes over to us at deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to answer them or find someone else like Latasha who can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod and personally make my day. And follow us on Instagram if you like seeing poorly made reels by yours truly.
You need to be easier on yourself. Your reels are great.
It's just so, it's like at this point they're intentionally bad. But if you want to see 2 cheetahs making love, head over to Gear Abby Pod on Instagram. In the meantime, today's episode was
And by cheetahs, she means people.
No, I don't. Don't get me banned from Instagram. Today's episode was produced by David Karstad and this guy, Colin True. Art direction provided by the wonderful Sarah Gensert. I'm Shawnté Salabert, and remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.